today we are going to be learning about basic layers. So I'm going to teach you all of the basic layers that you can do in a haircut. So now I'll show you on this lovely colorful head. I'm just going to do each section different. So up here, I'll start with, if we did brown first. I actually didn't do that. So round layering, I always like to put it in the people who want lots of volume but want to still conserve their length, because it's just good for creating so much movement in the hair. So I always start with cutting my length for square layers and then determining how short I want my first layer to be. So let's do it like short.
And this is round.
This is round, yep. So I'll kind of see where it's going to lay. Sure, that looks good. So bring it up. All right, cool. So you've got your guide now. And so you're just going to follow the head shape, making sure that your lines are clean. You're going to pull it directly out of where the hair goes. And make sure you're not cutting too far down, because you're going to continuously be moving where your section is. Because if you're holding it up here and cutting it, you're not cutting it from where this hair lives. So go pretty slow when you're cutting it. So what I do when I come near the lane is you can just find where that last section is. Pull your fingers down so that you're not cutting the length out of the layers. Always want to be very careful when you're getting close to the layers. How it just has all that movement in there. It's still preserving length, but you're also removing a lot of weight through it. Yeah? You guys think? Yeah. Yeah, so this is good. I love doing this on hair that wants that huge volume but wants to conserve all their length, because literally you got all the links in there. And when you blow dry this, you'll be able to build all the way and then still have nice movement through the hands too. So that's brown layering. You're not supposed to do that. It's on camera. Now I'll go to square layering. You did great.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So square layering is going to be moving even through the head too, but you'll just pull it directly out. Cut and then do. Spruce this off. so you'll kind of determine where you want the shortest layer to fall. Seems good.
Why did you cut off the light?
Just because it was gross and I just wanted more of a solid layer.
Got it.
And that's what you'll do first in any haircut. You'll usually hit the perimeter first. So you're just going to move directly down the head shape. Curly copper. Always make sure you drop your perimeter so you're not cutting into it. And then you do that, working around in its shape just like the round layers. So, as you can see, this is a pretty hard haircut, I guess you could say. It's not something that, with the longer length, a lot of people want. If their hair is heavier and they like it that way, it's good for not creating movement. But it's very choppy, very hard lines in there. But it's really great for curly cuts. Just go in and add a couple square layers. Kind of softens those curls up. So yeah, square layers. And then I'll take this down after and you can kind of see how all of them are different from each other. Cool. Alright, so this is going to be concave layering. So concave layering is good for all hair lengths. It's going to create lots and lots of movement in there, and you can pretty much make it any type of layer you want. You can make it a short layer, medium layer, or long layer. So you cut your perimeter. Section. Now I'm going to just make all these layers a little shorter so we'll be able to see the definition. So you're just going to pop your elbow up, create that concave shape to collapse everything in. Just cut it. Extend your fingers so you're not cutting into the length. Cut it down. Got it. Extend your finger. Yeah, and always remember that you can use your fingers and your arms to move around so you're not cutting into anything you don't want to. flexible, so this is good for heavier hair too, because it flaps everything in. You'll be able to get really nice outward movement throughout the haircut with this layering. And you can do it to just add a little bit of texture, add some volume, kind of do what you will with it, because you can be flexible with the length that you're making the layers with concaves. So you can only pull it up like this much, or you can go straight and make it kind of like Farrah Fawcett, how she would wear her hair all outward. That's what the concave layer is going to create. All right. And last, convex layer. Okay, so this is going to be good for slimming cuts, adding inward movement. Concave layering is going to fall into graduation, but in the layering sense. So it's good for tapering in. Yeah, and I love doing convex layers on all types of haircuts because they're similar to round layers too. So you can create lots of movement with it. You'll be following that shape. And we're going to move upwards, following that shape. And this is another good one to create any length because you can over direct literally as much as you want. So you can cut there, and that'll be concave. You can bring it all the way over here, concave. And that convex, sorry, not concave. It's just convex. I know, I'm sorry. Convex. So think of convex as moving outward. This is really good for bobs too, because it just creates very soft movement. Not too much if you don't want it. So someone that wants more of a one length, but not completely, you can reduce so much weight from this by just taking a little bit off. See how you almost can't tell because it just collapses everything in. It's super soft. That is convex layer. All right. Does anyone need a recap? Do you want to look at what the different layers are doing it for the head? Convex versus round. They're both pretty soft.
I like
Just
that
add
they're
a lot
together.
Yeah,
I really
right.
like the round layers.
Yeah, round layers are good. I do a lot of haircuts with round layers in the back and then convex layers in the front since they're both round movements, but you preserve more of the length with convex layering versus a round. So you can add lots of movement into the back and then you can still see all of that length into the front. and then round next to square to how this is just a lot more choppier. You can see a lot more of the hard lines with that versus soft. And then the concave, see it caving in, creating that outward movement. Yeah, so those are all the basic layers that we're going to be practicing today. Does anyone have any questions?
For people who want long length, but want like short layers, would you do round layering?
Yeah,
Yeah.
typically. And it's really easy to go overboard with your round layering. So every time you cut the perimeter and then you're going to cut the round layers, I will just always take this whole back top section and always move it down to see where I want it. Because if you're just pulling it up and cutting it, you're not going to be able to see how short you're creating that layer, and how fine the client's hair is also going to tie into that. So if they have finer hair, it's just good to always kind of kick your finger out just a little bit. So it'll still create a lot of that movement in there, but you're not taking out so much of what she has.
If someone has finer hair, do you prefer doing round layers versus square? Does it just depend on if they want like volume or if they want it to be choppy?
Yeah, typically, a lot of the times for finer hair, I go towards more of the convex layering. Because it's similar to round, it'll still create a lot of movement, but it's not taking too much out.
Gotcha.
Because if you go for something like concave, that's reducing so much of the length and weight through the bottom, and that's what they want. So if you're doing more round convex layering with thin hair, you're going to be able to preserve way much more by over directing and creating length that way. Good? Okay, awesome. We can all set up, and you can split your mannequins into 4 like I did mine and practice on each different section of basic layer. Awesome.
Should we wet them or?
If you guys want to do it like I did it too, putting the convex layers by the round layers, so you can even try, once you do all the basic layering, if you want to go back through and try connecting the round and the convex layers, so that you can work on putting 2 different layers into a haircut and transitioning them together.
Will you show us with your fingers the difference between like how do you hold convex versus concave?
Yes, so concave, think of concave as an inverted shape. Concave going in, holding concave with your fingers by elevating the elbow that you use with your gum. And then you'll cave that in. Convex layering is elevating the elbow that you're holding the hair with.
That one's which one?
Convex.
So essentially, concave would be pointing to the ground, convex is up.
Concave is up. So when you think of the layers that you're going to put with concave, they will be
Gotcha.
go
Okay.
towards the head. So concave is caving that bottom length in, and convex is pointing down, creating a straight line to the ground. Just basically think of convex is going to be more like round. They're going to be creating a shape around. With convex and concave, you're going to be creating a shape out. Convex. You guys want the lights on?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones on my hands.
Oh,
And there was like,
alright.
Yeah. Bram Stoker's Dracula. I definitely am.
that's that's wrong.
Yeah.
Man, I remember in school we had these bowls where you could, it was just like perfect for your mannequin stand, and now I'm just like all crunched over trying to like not let it fall over.
Aww.
Would you like some help?
No, I got this.
You guys want to flip? Make sure you are trying to be as clean as possible also with your sectioning.
I really love it. It's a fun job. Thank you.
Like, for men's studies, it's swimming as I like it on right, like true.
For square layers, should I leave it here or like the first section? Should it go, do I hold it up here?
So yeah, when you're working on the top of the head for square layers, you always determine your first length and cut it, and then you will pull it outward from the head.
Okay.
Yep. Great. So, Callie just asked a really good question for square layering. If you are doing square layering throughout a whole haircut, you are going to, when you get to the front, you're going to take the top section from about, sorry, this mannequin's hard to, take your first section up, and you'll cut your first square layer in an up motion. So you would just cut all of that, and then you would grab it and start working down. So that's something to remember when you're cutting square layers throughout a whole haircut. It's always determine your first layer up and then pull directly out and cut the length. That is all for now.
Basically makes like a square around the
Yeah, you're pretty much following the head and just creating the shape as a square out from where the hair grows. Great.
and she was like, what
What
kind of
was next to
layer are
square?
you doing? And I was like,
Concave,
she was like, show me with your fingers.
concave down.
I know, I do that sometimes. She's like, what layers
Yep.
did you do? I'm like,
Yep,
layers.
perfect.
The long layers. I don't know. My fingers went
I feel
like
I
this.
knew how to do all this, I just didn't know what it
This,
was called.
this,
Yes.
this
I like
one.
how to.
This. I hold it like this.
Yes. If your elbow is elevated like this, concave. If you're over directing up, convex.
You want to check my layers, Drew?
Yeah.
I got them really fast.
I did too, it's okay. Okay, so what did you do where?
So square, round, concave, convex.
Square, all right. So, the last one.
It was a small section, so I wanted to preserve as much length as possible.
Yeah,
Because that's
so-
all her length.
Yeah, and so that's what square layers are going to do. They're just going to take a lot of weight out. So yeah, that is just something to remember. And if you don't want it to take as much out, don't make the first layer so short. So
Okay.
like, if you're wanting to keep it longer square layers, maybe you should have kept that like an inch longer. So then you have way more to play with when you're coming out this
Yeah.
way. Because when you're creating that first square layer, it's always going to be a lot shorter of a haircut because you are then pulling that hair down.
Right.
So just make sure, if you're afraid of making the layers too short, to just always give it an extra inch. And then you'll just want to take all that stuff off, which I know is all for length, so. And then this is round.
This is round. I didn't take a lot. Complete opposite. I didn't take a lot of
Yeah, so just make sure that you are following. Yeah, I see one little guy. So it's just gonna be a complete round circle. And then this is convex.
Yeah, concave.
Concave.
The front one next to it.
So this will just be a little bit more of a caved in shape. And then,
So this one is down. So you have like.
I think you did this one concave. This one's convex. Did you go like this? No? Really?
So.
Because I feel like right here is more of a concave layer than convex. You see that?
Yeah. So right.
Yeah, because you can see how this one is caving in.
Yeah. Or maybe I said it opposite.
Yeah, I think you said it opposite because this one,
So convex is.
this is convex.
Convex.
And this,
That makes a lot more sense.
yes. Just think of convex as almost round. You're going to create an outside shape with convex. Concave, you are going to make a collapsing shape that's going to. So just go through and kind of detail it a little bit because I did see some pieces just so we can define it more.
Great.
Perfect. You're welcome.
You want me to have you come back and take it?
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so you're doing concave? So you'll come in and just take off that.
Convex, yeah, so I'm gonna set my.
So with this, you don't need to necessarily set a guide.
Perfect.
So you can just pull your section up. Because you'll want to start with the convex layer, you want to start from the perimeter lane
Okay.
and just pull it up. And you'll want to just cut right into this. And
Gotcha.
then you can pull it up again, establish more, cut it all out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So like out, yeah. Because right now it goes maybe.
Concave.
I need concave layers.
So concave is if you pick up your,
Think
Yeah.
about your fingers.
yeah, I know, but like, so if I'm combing with my,
Here's my.
so if I'm moving my right elbow,
Yes.
that's convex.
Yes.
And if I move my left elbow, that's concave.
Yes.
That's helpful.
No.
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 Opposite.
Yes. They're so similar. Okay.
This one
Concave.
folds into itself.
Concave is this.
Fingers up.
You're going to be creating a V shape. Yes. You feel me?
Totally.
Concave. Convex.
Boom.
Concave. Convex.
Think of it like this, you're cutting into your hand, you're cutting into the cave, and then this way you're cutting out of your hand and out of the cave.
Yeah, so when you create a concave layer, it's caving in. It's creating all of this movement. It's caving in. So concave in, convex out. Okay. Convex is almost round layering. So you're building a shape outside with convex. It's gonna be all the way around like this.
Gotcha, okay.
And then convex, you are creating concave.
We should just get rid of these
I
words.
know, make them different. Concave, you are caving the layers in. Convex, out, concave, in.
Thanks, Drew.
Yes.
Now we're all confused.
It's really confusing.
It could be concave, or it could be convex,
Convex is
whatever.
out. Convex is, if you think of like graduation. You know how you graduate hair and you build up? Convex falls into graduation. So it's creating outside. And then concave, you are swooping the hair and creating, because this is a cave in.
That's a really good answer.
That is concave.
I can't even see my finger, I'm just like, I have to take it off.
Concave down.
I cut my knuckle earlier, that's why I left. My knuckle.
Jade is doing concave layers.
Convex.
Concave.
I'm doing convex.
Oh, concave.
Concave. You see how she's creating, all of this is going to be gone and it's going to cave out.
You see that I'm cutting into
Farrah Fawcett is concave.
This is convex.
That is convex. You are creating an outside shape with the convex layers. Yeah.
Yes.
So if your top layer
shapes.
is getting longer versus,
Yeah.
no, but with your finger motion.
When you're over directing, you are convexing.
Yeah.
When you are pulling the hair out, you are concaving. So always think of convex as over direct. I'll go away, but some.
And then that's going.
If I talk fast, she'll come up. I got burned out with my virus, but like, it goes away and leaves, so that looks nasty.
I'm shy as shit. Tomorrow was my first day off. What?
That's too short, yeah.
Concave layering?
If that's what you see, yep.
Well, this is for you to know. You know what shape you're creating right now? Because to me, It looks like you could be doing square or concave right now.
Oh no, I did square over here.
Okay.
So the concave. I was
So
just making-
concave, just try to exaggerate it a little bit. You don't even need to section it from the top. You can just grab all of this and use your perimeter to come in and then direct, you know? You feel me? Like you don't need to start from the bottom. You can start from the top and then go down with it. You feel good about that?
I don't feel good at starting from the top on this one. I did that in this section. No, I did that in the square. I started from the top.
Yeah.
I feel like I lose control when I start from the top, and that's what I'm fixing because I started from the top and doing that.
Okay. So then if you do want to section and start from the bottom, just go ahead and make it a little bit more exaggerant so we can see what shape you're trying to put in. Yeah, because if you, this is for you to make mistakes and kind of feel what works for you and to know what shape you're putting into the hair, so, cool.
Anne said second.
Can I speak to your manager?
Right now. To your manager's manager.
Right now.
I am not happy. My service.
What do you think?
I
Linda.
really love the concave layers.
Yes,
They're
right?
so pretty.
Yeah, it makes so much movement because you can create a concave layer and have all of your movement out, or you can create the concave layer and have all your movement in it.
So you could essentially create the concave and you could go back over if you wanted something to lay on top and do that convex just like right on that very top layer.
Yeah,
And it would just
definitely.
be like a nice little, maybe like a flip out or
Yeah,
something.
and that's something once you have determined how the layers work, then you'll be able to work it in. So you'll be able to want to concave this and then convex this, you know, to add a little bit of shorter layer movement. So yeah, once
So it's
you've
not
got
so
all the
blocky.
basics down, then you can incorporate putting round layers in with convex layers.
I like it. And then
Yeah.
the round layer was, it's literally, you're pulling it like 90 degrees per from the head.
The
each
round
time.
layer is pretty much skateboard haircut. You're pulling it out from everywhere that the hair
The hair
grows.
comes out.
And it'll be even throughout the whole haircut. So then once you come into this, use your guide from back here,
6 months after your baby's first two.
and just go all the way down through the hair. And then, yeah, so round is just completely pulling out from where the hair lives and cutting.
Nice.
Is this convex up here?
Yes.
Yeah, Minnie's got it. Good job.
Woohoo, thanks. That was fun.
Yes, perfect.
That was really fun.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Does everyone feel good? Can you tell me the difference between concave and convex?
Convex is when concave.
You're swooping in.
Like Pharaoh.
Concave. Like it's
There.
like, okay, so
Concave and like
the
Pharaoh. We
top
should
of
make
the
a rap
waves.
about it.
Yeah, make a rap about it when you
Okay.
remember it.
Concave like Pharaoh. Convex like a T-Rex.
Oh shoot!
Drop
Got it. Got it.
So like
We
the
spit in
top of
bars.
the wave.
Remember that you can pretty much always over direct the convex
Ooh,
layers.
look
With
how pretty that
concave,
is.
you're not going to be able to over direct. You're pulling out.
Yeah.
I think that's really pretty.
All right, let's see. What did you put where?
I did round, square, concave, convex.
Cool. So round.
Sorry, I probably
Mannequin's
should
got
have
nice hair. She's like a rock star. She's got like
I
nicer
know.
hair than I do.
This is why it's isolation because the pressure
I feel like I took too big of sections at first too.
Yeah, and that's really easy to do. And again, I mean, if that's what bigger sections are called for in a haircut, it's going to be applied to everyone's hair density. Good. And then this is convex. This is square.
I'm just gonna go and find full sets. It should be just last through.
All right, and concave. Perfect. You got it down.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I didn't feel like I was.
What do you feel like you had trouble with?
I just felt like I wasn't doing it.
You're doing great.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
I did square in the front, and I think it looks like 90s like Leo.
Yes.
It does.
Look at those eyes.
Well, she came in.
She's throwing shade.
Exactly what I was thinking. Like the Leo, I gotta do, that haircut. Oh, no, that was 3 years ago.
What about comb down? Do you have your comb?
I did. I think the hardest for me was the brown.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Does anybody see this one woman? She's got a little bit rat tail. Bringing it back.
What was hard about round for you?
Now I'm just making it move, like going down.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing round layers is a very precise sectioning type of haircut, so you have to be very clean when you're cutting your round layers.
I felt like I was getting shorter, like, as I went down. Or maybe I was just going crazy.
It might feel that way just because you're working down and you're taking quite a bit of length off, but that's what round layers do. Just remember, once you're getting down into this section of the hair and you feel like you might be taking too much off, remember where it lives. If you're elevating it, you're not cutting it from where it lives. It lives down here. See that? So just remember, around, you're literally pulling out where this hair is going to grow from the head and cut it. And this is convex.
I think it's concave. Concave are the ones. Concave are the ones that we normally do, like on longer hair, right? Because I never do that convex ones. Like really ever.
No, this is convex. Convex. Concave. So just make sure you. Concave. Convex. Convex is like round.
Convex down, concave up.
Do it like 5 more times.
I feel like this time I figured out.
So confusing.
I figured out another way for me to.
I've watched it every single time and I'm still confused.
All right, ready? I'm gonna concave this hair.
It's like
more of the
like
scoop into a cake.
think about a wave.
So I'll cut that and it will cave. It literally takes all of that out, so it caves in and creates Farrah Fawcett. And then the convex, similar to round, pulling it out. Convex. You can always over direct convex layers. you cannot, you can like back over direct the concave, but you can't extreme over direct concaves. So just remember, convex, you can go out. Convex is creating outward movement. Concave is creating the caved in movement.
Which one do you keep most of the length usually with? The
Keep most of
convex?
the length usually with? That's a very hard question, because you can preserve length with both, just depending on how much cave you want to put in a concave. Because you can extend your fingers out, preserve more of that length and cut more of the layers. And then with, you don't have to do such a like intense convex. You can just do a little bit, and so that'll preserve length too. It's just the way that you hold your hand position and the layers that are going to determine how much length you're preserving. So just remember that when you go to cut that first layer in, whatever it is, just think, am I going to take too much out of here? Always measure it. And with the concaves, so I guess you could preserve a lot more preserve a lot more length with concaves, because you can come down and you can move your concave layer a lot too, you know? Like you can concave like this and create that very big Farrah Fawcett hair. Or you can just come down and concave like this and just create that little bit of,
Do you think you're gonna get a better swoop if you, because whenever I see concave, you do it like that?
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna put more layers into it, you're gonna create a lot more swoop rather than if you're just concaving down here.
Okay. Ooh, I like that.
Good?
Yes. I'm complete.
You're complete.
I'm gonna have to watch this video that you got.
All right, what'd you do? What'd you
This
do
was the square,
here? Okay,
and that's when I started up top.
okay.
This is the round.
Can I see your comb?
You sure can.
Thank you.
You need
No, I'm not gonna
Okay.
cut into it, I'm just gonna look at it.
Awesome.
All right, so square, and then you said you had trouble controlling this one? Is that what, because you started from the top? Yeah, so with the square, you would cut your initial layer, good. And then pull your section down. And pull directly out of the hair. So,
I see that.
you
I'll
could
get it.
stand, yeah, for sure, I'm just, so you could stand, take like that stuff off, but, and then round. Yeah, there's a couple corners, so just make sure you're pulling it directly out from where it lives and cutting it. Cool. And then this one, you did concave. Yeah?
Yes, because you don't see the layers, so that's convex, yeah.
Yeah. So, I feel like with the concave layers, if you were to just come through and just take a section all the way down, and just softly cut into this, you're not gonna see so much of the layering, you know, like, you just take your section and pull it out, and you can point cut all that, and it's gonna flow more, because I feel with the sectioning, you can kind of see the layering, and concave is meant to just kind of seamlessly cave in. So just try taking a section from the top and, I mean, if you need to cut it with wet, it gives you more control, do that too. And then this is convex. Great. Yeah. Awesome. I'd say just, yeah, if anything, just kind of watch your concave layers. But you've got the shape down, so then you're able to work on what you need.
Thank
Cool.
you.
You're welcome. How does everyone feel?
I feel
Great. Do you feel like
Everything makes a lot more sense.
Do you feel like you're going to try some new layering
Yes.
haircuts now? And try to incorporate, you can start with a round layer on the top and then forming it into a concave, you know, so you can create weight up top and then reduce the weight through the bottom, giving it all that movement.
So would you say a round layer has a traveling guide?
Yeah, because the round layers, you are completely growing, or you're cutting where the hair grows out of the head. So round layer, if you start your layer here, you're not going to pull anything stationary. You're going to cut this, and then take a piece from that guide, and then cut this, and take a piece. Yeah. So round layering is all
Around.
yeah, it's like around the head. It's like your state board haircut, but don't do
that.
But don't do it. Cool. Any questions? Anything anyone wants to?
It's nice knowing like verbiage and correct verbiage instead of just being like, oh, this is just what I'm doing.
Right?
So.
Yeah, and two, just try to remember throughout, try to keep on your brain convex versus concave, because if you leave here and forget about it, you're gonna be like, what was it again? So yeah, just remember, concave is Farrah Fawcett. Sing it, rap it, girl.
You have a rap?
She was coming up with a
We're gonna make up
Oh,
a rap. so we'll
fire.
remember.
It was amazing.
Yes.
You can buy a mixtape on
Yes, Lizzie.
What is it?
She said you can get her mixtape on SoundCloud.
Cool. All right, awesome.
Do you find that with like a certain layers grow out better than others? Or do you feel like they can go longer between certain layering between haircuts?
I mean, I guess not necessarily. It depends more on the length of the hair.
Okay.
Like if you have long hair and you put any type of layers in there, they'll probably grow out pretty nice. But if you have short hair and you're putting any type of layering in there, it's gonna have a harder grow out just because it's gonna go through more transitioning. Like if you have your length of a mannequin, if she gets whatever layers,
Yeah.
if she goes 10 weeks, she's gonna be everywhere. But if you have Alondra and you put any type of layers in here, she goes 10 weeks and you'll be able to
Gotcha.
see a little bit of a shape still. Yeah, so it's just pretty much the length
Okay.
of the hair that'll determine that.
So shorter the hair, you're still gonna recommend that they come back shorter time for their cut again?
Yeah, because if someone wants to maintain something like that, you're gonna have to do 6 to 8 weeks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just think of like men's cuts, 4 to 5, short cuts, 6 to 8, medium, 8 to 10, long hair, about 10, so. That's when it about starts losing shape. Cool.
And then if someone says they don't want their hair to flip out, obviously don't do concave layers.
Yeah, think of concave as Farrah Fawcett. If someone wants that sleek, introverted bob, the last thing you're going to do is give her concave layers.
Convex. I was like, no, convex. Concave.
Yeah, that. Yeah, so just always think of Farrah Fawcett as concaves, and she's just, and then like, just think of a bob, a graduated bob is always going to go in and create almost a circle movement, and that'll be convex. You'll do convex layering with graduation if you're creating a bob, an introverted bob.
I want it out.
You want to?
I want a Joe Dirt mullet.
Please, please do that.
If you don't have any more questions, that's all I have.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the shortest, most effective class.
I know, right? Right? So good.